Raphael. Uh, so I think it'd be easier if I show you by video, like I mentioned. And after some thought, I've come up with a solution I think that will work the best for what you need to do, keeping in mind that you will have some post-Unifield Excel work that needs to be done. So I recommend we go into purchases and we use what is not new, but fairly new report called the Supplier Performance Report. I looked at a couple of other reports to get the same information, and this one, which you may be familiar with, this per supplier, has a problem linked to the last release, so it's not working very well, and it won't be fixed until late October. But that led me to the supplier performance, which I think is going to be better anyway. So what I would suggest, this part is fairly straightforward. Just you said January 1st. And then, of course, I'm going to take through the end of September 2020. Now here you can choose the type of PO, the partner type. And you said you buy mostly local, and which would be external. And if you do have any international orders, you can include ESC. And this is just to reduce the amount that comes out in your Excel file, the amount of time it takes, and the amount of data. If you want everything, you can leave it blank and it will take everything, or you can tick all and it'll take everything. Down here, I would suggest regular PO. I don't know if you use purchase list, but if you think someone has or has incorrectly used it, and maybe direct purchase order. Again, you would know better which ones are relevant for your purchase flow in Egypt. I wouldn't do loan, donation, or any of the donations. So the key thing to remember about this report is that it only takes closed POs that meet all of these criteria. So this is going to be linked to POs that have closed. So if you have some orders open now that are in confirmed or validated that have prices on them that you're interested in, they're not going to be included here. So now I'm going to hit Excel and I'm going to pause the video until it's done to save time. The report has been created. I download the report and it should pop it up to Excel for me. And voila. Okay, so here's the report exported with this kind of criteria. So what you'll notice here is you have the supplier name. So obviously, you know how Excel works. You can do all the filtering you want. If there's certain suppliers you don't want to include, that's fine. And here's obviously your PO number. And what I think you're going to find interesting is over here, I would check, and you might want to remove anything that's canceled or canceled and resourced, just to reduce your data points. And then you're going to have, obviously you have a lot of the other information, but what you're really interested in, I think, is the PO unit price or possibly the incoming shipment unit price. And these are usually the same, unless on the reception, it is possible for the warehouse, whoever encodes the reception, to update the price if the supplier delivers the items and the prices are different than the original confirmed PO. I don't know if anyone in Egypt actually does that. So in theory, these should be the same. So you can decide to take, or if they're not the same, then the unit price would be on the end would be the most recently updated. Or you can take the supplier invoice unit price that came from the finance Unifield side. And of course, here you have the local currency price, I believe are these, and then over here is converted to euro. But of course, this is on the exchange rate. I believe at the time that the PO was created, the exchange rate is updated once a month. I don't know that it's so I think it's at the time the PO was created. I don't think it's the current exchange rate. So if these POs are from January 2019, it will be, I believe, and you could do a couple cross checks with an old PO and then the price to see if it's the current or not. So you kind of have your choice to take whether you take the local currency price or come over here and take the euro or you can take the local currency and convert it to euro at your own exchange rate as you wish. And then here in these columns, we have a bunch of dates that you can start to use. Because like I said, you'll need to filter again to make sure you don't have all the duplicates in here. I assume you want every item, but only the most recent purchase of that item and the price data associated with that. So you're probably better at Excel than I am, but you can do some date filters. Pretty sure there's some generic ones here already in Excel, or you can come up with your own. You can either do it by PO creation date or the date the PO was confirmed, which the confirmed date should have the final price on the PO, which matches this price. There's lots of other information here. I'm not sure that that information is relevant to what you're trying to achieve. And now just to highlight, I go to the user manual now, and you can look at chapter 4 of the manual. It's on the page 115, or just search supplier performance. And just to highlight that this report, like I said, is only showing closed and canceled. So if you really want to get the prices of some POs that are not status closed, that have information, then they're not going to be in this report. Just thinking, if you do need, I looked in your database, and it looks to me like you only have about 10 POs that are open that are not in status closed. You might want the data. So if that's the case, you could do the first export like I showed you, and then to get the last little bit, you could do the report. Like I told you, this report's not working, and that's not entirely correct. It's not working based on the full date range you want. But you can, and I don't go into the technical reasons it's not working, but if you limit the filters a bit, I looked at your purchase orders, and I see that of the ones that would not be on the supplier performance report, the creation date was the February 23rd. So if you generate a report from the 22nd to the 30th, and you only look at these statuses, noting that these statuses will already have been included on your other report, and then you hit generate, that will work. And the error is obviously related to a piece of data that's not within those criteria. So then you can open that report. Sorry, it's not clear. Here's the new one. And this will only have the POs that didn't appear on the other report. Of course, you will have to look and make sure there's no loans, donations, etc. You see the supplier, and then over here, you'll see the unit price. And this, I believe, is in, well, actually, you can, I was going to say which currency, but this report has a line here that indicates which currency. Because if these are to MSF Supply, it'll be euro, your local is maybe in USD, and then you have Egyptian pound. So you will have to kind of navigate this based on who it is and whether you want to include these or not. And like I said, when I did a quick look, I looked at your database for these 4 types of PO, and you only have 10. And yeah, so and some of these are quite old, February. So I'm not sure if you want to include these or not in your analysis. And there's not so many line items, so you can just skip this and only use the supplier performance report that I showed you at the beginning. So this, which would be this one, if you really need to. Oh, this one has a currency as well. Okay, so that's it from my side. A bit of a long video. It's not exactly a Hollywood production, but hopefully this helps. And if you have any questions, just shoot back a response to the help desk and let me know. All right, cheers.